Hello YouTube, it is your boy, your goy, B3, back with another kicking B3 Reads! Now I know I said that this time we would be doing another part of Monster Island, and I meant it, but then I made a discovery. Mothra's Diary Book 3 came out like 3 days ago. So I am all about this, because remember I loved reading Book 1 and 2. In fact, Mothra's Diary really started B3 Reads as a series. It has a special place in my heart, and it's just a crazy book. But today we are not only reading Mothra's Diary Book 3, but since it's a little short, we're also going to read Mothra's Diary Alternate Endings 1. Yeah, so if you haven't watched the first 3 videos about Mothra's Diary, I recommend that you do so before this. There is a playlist of B3 Reads. They should be the first things on it. So, Mothra's Diary, Book 3. Here we go. Thursday. Hey guys, I'm back with another one of these diary things again. I don't know why I am still writing these. Maybe it just helps me get my feelings out. The last entries were interesting. I took a little break from writing, as I just needed some time. If you don't know, Godzilla and I broke up. Like, broke up. I had to give my child away just to deal with it all. Poor Gatra has to spend her first moments not with me, but with Kumanga. Real smart move, leaving a fucking caterpillar with a spider. Sorry. Anyway, I'm looking for King Ghidorah. I can't get his faces out of my head. The last time I saw him, poor Ghidorah had lost a head. Godzilla blew it off, so I'm looking for him. If Rodan finds me, I'm not talking to him. He kidnapped me. Yes, Rodan did kidnap you. But Ghidorah beat you into unconsciousness. He abused you too. You've been in 3 relationships, and they've all been abusive. So Ghidorah is interesting. He has 3 heads, one of which is gone now. You just told us that. But the middle head was always the hottest, coolest. He had a handsome face. It had many little spikes, which I loved. Also, he was really big, twice the size of Godzilla. I don't want to think about Godzilla anymore. He called my child an abomination. I wonder if I'm going to find Ghidorah. I've just found a nice cave, and I'm going to go explore the back of it. I've been flying for almost half a day. That's not even that much. I'm pretty tired. I can't find any other landforms anywhere. The cave is on a secluded island. Nice enough. The island has a large forest and a freshwater lake. Okay, so here's another observation. She said she took a little break from writing, but that break from writing was just 12 hours. She'd been flying for half a day, started flying at the end of book 2. Her break's only been 12 hours. So stupid. So now I'm in the back of the cave. Once again, she's writing this while she's doing things, unlike a real diary where you would write it at the end of the day. There seems to be a small passage, just big enough for Biolante to squeeze through. Why? What a weird thing to say. I fly through the tunnel, which opens out to a large cave, but the size of the one Godzilla and I lived in. I see. What the heck? My eyes must be playing tricks on me. I'm seeing a bloody golden stump. It can't be. Hey, is that you, I call? The stump shifts and 2 golden heads rise weakly around it. Mothra? The heads croak. Are you really here? It's King Ghidorah. Yes, I say, hurrying over to him. He's lost a lot of blood. Still, Ghidorah is every bit as handsome as he used to be, except for that severed head. Is your head okay, I ask? No, it hurts. I've been here for months. He crumbles. The more blood comes out of his wound. I press a claw to his chest. He is barely breathing. I think he is in some sort of coma. I don't know about that. I bandage up the wound the best I can with some giant leaves from the trees outside, then sit down next to him. Friday. He's awake. I see him stir. I think he's going to be hungry. So I guess he wasn't in a coma. He just passed out. Luckily, I already got food. A meal of whale lays in front of Ghidorah when he wakes. Ugh, he groans. Shh, I say, pushing him down as he tries to get up. Rest and eat. I can't, he replies. I need to move. Just a reminder from part 1. This author writes Ghidorah in a really weird way, where lots of the letters are repeated and drawn out because he has 3 heads or something. 2 heads now, but still. You will eat, and then you will move. Fine, Ghidorah gobbles down the whale, then throws the carcass into the sea outside. How did you find me? I had an egg. It was Godzilla's, but he thought first that it was Rodan's, then Anguirus's. I gave the baby to Kumanga and left because Godzilla was acting really mean. I abandoned my child because my boyfriend is mean. You could have just dumped him and still raised the baby, you absolute awful... I'm pissed. Ghidorah muses. So today I was going outside and found a metal snake. It looked a bit... What the fuck? It looked a bit like Ghidorah's middle head. Also, silver wing linings attached to the metal chest plate were next to the head. I brought them to Ghidorah and he put them on. So you just found King Ghidorah parts laying around in the middle of this island. A metal snake that he's just going to pop on as another head? That's the dumbest fucking thing I've ever read. That's how he became Mecha King Ghidorah. I'm going outside with him now. We're going to hunt together. Suddenly, Godzilla rises out of the water. Mothra! What? I yell. He looks around and spots me. Then Ghidorah appears behind me. What are you doing, Godzilla? He cries. Haven't you ruined my life enough? We can't fight here. I brought little Godzilla. Ghidorah, don't hurt little Godzilla, I plead. Ghidorah ignores me. He leaps at Godzilla, and 3 gravity beams shoot out of his mouths. The middle head smacks Godzilla down, and Godzilla rolls over. Godzilla charges up his atomic breath, then blasts Ghidorah in the face. Ghidorah's mecha jaw goes flying off and hits me on the antennae. Godzilla keeps on shooting his beam, but the robot head, while jawless, responds with a green beam, fighting it back. Sorry about that notification sound. I forgot to turn my volume off. Little Godzilla starts crying and holds onto Godzilla's leg. Godzilla doesn't bat an eye while still shooting his radioactive beam of light. The spot of energy between the 2 kaiju is starting to near Godzilla's face. It hits Godzilla in the face and knocks both Godzilla and little Godzilla back. Godzilla stops near the 2 fallen kaiju and snorts. Ghidorah. Ghidorah stomps near the 2 fallen kaiju and snorts. Now I will toy with the little one. Little Godzilla panics on the sandy ground. Help, Daddy, help, he screams. I can't get up, son. Do your best. Do what I taught you. I've seen Godzilla teaching little Godzilla how to fight. If you want any kaiju to teach you that, you'll want him. Little Godzilla tries to snap up, but King Ghidorah stops him with his wing. He pounds his foot on his chest and starts shooting all 3 beams at little Goji's head. I know he doesn't stand a chance. Ghidorah, stop! He's young, I shout. The only response I get is more desperate cries of help from the little one. Mothra, you've got to stop him. I'm going to get hurt real bad. You're good, Mothra. Save me. Every word strikes deep into my heart. I'm going to jump in. Hold on a sec. See that? I'm going to jump in. Hold on a sec. That means she's writing this as all this happens. Insane. Okay, to be honest, nothing really happened. I tried to help, but Ghidorah pushed me away with his wings. I want to help, though, but I'm just going to keep writing in my fucking diary, because I'm a bitch who abandoned her child. Wait, Ghidorah just slashed little Godzilla. Down the throat. I can hear Godzilla go into panic. I am too. He won't survive this. I have to stop him. I flap over to him. What do you think you're doing, insect? He spits. She doesn't close her quotation marks here. He just kicked me back. It hurts, but nothing compared to what little Godzilla must feel. Speaking of that, he's bleeding out. He could die. No, he's going to die. Little Godzilla is crying, and I see a large gash on his neck down to his tail when Godzilla ramps into Ghidorah's back. I fly over to little Godzilla. Hold on! I turn to see Godzilla bite down on Ghidorah's wing. Then Godzilla thwacks his enemy in the stomach. Ghidorah is thrown off balance, and Godzilla leaps on top of him. Godzilla grabs Ghidorah's middle head, and with a mighty screech, rips the head off. He got that head minutes ago, and it's gone! Ghidorah screams, then shoots his 2 remaining beams at Godzilla. They hit Godzilla in the chest, but Godzilla grabs the right head and breaks that neck. Once there is only 1 beam, Godzilla jumps up and down on Ghidorah's left head, pounding it into the ground. Ghidorah is finished. He lays in the mud, groaning. Godzilla runs over to little Godzilla. I back away from them. They exchange a few words, then little Godzilla shudders and is still. Godzilla rises to his feet. He's dead. I'm sorry, my voice breaks. I don't know what we're gonna do. He's actually dead, Mothra. I've been without you for so long, and it doesn't feel the same, he stammers. What's your point, I ask. I know this sounds weird, but I want you back. Your child just died, dude. Get some fucking perspective. If my child was just murdered in front of me, I wouldn't turn around to my ex and say, hey, you want to go out again, you dumb bitch who abandoned our other child? Everyone in this book is fucking dumb. Sure, I guess I laugh, but I know this is no time for laughing. I need to get Gatra back first. After all of this, after everything, she gets back together with him just because his son is dead. Mothra, you don't need no man. You don't deserve a man, because you're bad too. You abandoned your child. Gatra, so that's what you're calling it? I mean her? I'd like to meet Gatra, Godzilla states. He's met Gatra. He knows all this. This happened in the last part. Well, let's focus. Where does Kumanga live? You would know, I ask. You left your baby with someone you don't even know where they live? Fuck me. West, behind that mountain, he says, but there's lots of webs. Behind what mountain? The mountain on the island you're on now? This isn't Monster Island. This is a random island that she found Ghidorah on. And Kumanga happens to live here? How'd Kumanga get there faster than Mothra? I hear a twinge in his voice. Concerned, I ask, what's wrong? He unexpectedly lashes out. What's wrong? My son just died. My own son. I remember when I found him. He was, stops to sniffle. He was in the shrubbery. Then he popped out and scared me. It spooked me, but finding him was one of the best things that ever happened to me. I'm sorry. Don't be sorry. I wish I could revive him, but I can't. I'm not that powerful. The fairies told me to be careful with my powers, and even then I don't have enough strength. He buries his head into my wings. Please tell me you'll help me get over this. Please. This is red flags. So many red flags. Dude, yes I will, but the sooner we get Gatra back, the sooner I can assist you. He's not in a state to raise a child right now. Oh my God. He stands up. Let us do that then. Follow me. I followed him around the mountains, so it is on that same island, and we have now come to a stop. There is a vast, thick, yellow spiderweb sewn across the ravine. Must be Final Wars, Kumanga. I see Gatra look up and teeter towards me. Are you here to bring me back? Wait, why is he here? He's bad. I look at Godzilla and then back to my daughter. He's not bad. Mothra just got upset. When Mothra gets upset, she does funny things. I think that's supposed to be Godzilla and not Mothra. He's not bad. Godzilla just got upset. When Godzilla gets upset, he does funny things. I think it's supposed to be how that reads. I'm so confused. And you're Mothra? And he's Godzilla. Godzilla's going through a very rough time right now, so we're sorry if he's really sad, I respond. Godzilla walks back to where we were before, presumably to bury little Godzilla. But I know that Godzilla is strong. He'll be able to get through this. Yes, Mothra's here to take you back. I love you, Gatra. It's nice to see you again, I say. You're pretty, Gatra chimes. Oh my fucking God. I chuckle. Thank you. You're not bad yourself. Now come with me. I can see the mound where little Godzilla is buried. We lay stones around that mound, and I sprinkled some yellow dust onto it. I shed some tears and wrapped Godzilla in my wings. Like Saturday or something. That's the date. Like Saturday or something. Fuck you. Hi, Godzilla here. Mothra let me use her diary as a way to get my emotions out after little Godzilla's death. To tell you the truth, I'm not going to make a big deal out of it, because it already is a big deal. That sentence is weird. Anyway, I figured I had just as big a story to tell as Mothra did, so I'll write it all here. This is what happened while Mothra was away with that Ghidorah. So I basically was not interested in the relationship anymore because Mothra was seeing all these other guys. I still don't know if she actually was or not, but that's over, so whatever. Well, if you want to know the truth, just flip back in the diary you're writing in right now. She fucked Rodan. Willingly, with consent. So I went out with Biolante. No, 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 no. She was really weird because she was hardly a kaiju at all. Turns out she's more plant than I thought. And her other head thingies were watching me all the time. Eek. Then I tried Megaguirus, but she was more interested in Anguirus than me. So I decided to find Mothra and make peace with her. Also, I wanted to beat up Ghidorah again. So is there gonna be a story about Biolante, or is it just over? Because Anguirus' diary already has 2 books. I guess Mothra's diary is over. And that's a bad ending. That's a really bad ending. He goes back to Mothra because he's desperate. Even though she cheated with other men, no one else will love him, so he goes back to her. But she also abandoned her kid, and so did he. He even assaulted his own child because he thought it was somebody else's. Godzilla was abusive, Ghidorah was abusive, Rodan was abusive. Mothra was negligent to her child. None of them deserve happiness. None of the characters in this book deserved happiness. I'm glad little Godzilla died. Fuck Godzilla. Shit. He's better off not being raised by that asshole, dude. Now we're going to read Mothra's Diary, Alternate Endings 1 by Kaiju Diaries. So, that was a pretty short book, 3. The first 2 books had over 4,000 words each, and this one had over 1,000. And then this Alternate Endings has 1,255. So let's jump into that. Number 1. What if Godzilla hated Mothra from the beginning? Monday. I'm Mothra. This is my first diary entry. I'm still in my larval state, but the fairies say I'm growing every day. The fairies also say I'm now old enough to leave the temple on Monster Island, so I'm finally going out now. I hope I see other monsters so that I can socialize with. I hope they will still take me seriously even though I am young and short. I will write all of my experiences out there. Well, I'm going out. So I'm out now. It doesn't look anything like I thought it would. It has sandy beaches and rocks and vines, and yeah, it doesn't have the big moss-covered stony rocks like in the temple, but needless to say, I think I like this better. I'm looking out to the sea and I notice a shadow above me. And that's really those are the same exact words that started off book 1. Tuesday. Okay, sorry about the cutoff. I'll tell you what happened, but just so you know, this is my second entry. Thanks, bitch, I can count. This entry takes place 1 day after the events of the first one. I know that Tuesday comes after Monday, but if you had actual dates on here, you wouldn't have to tell me that. I wouldn't have to assume it was 8 days later. But I didn't assume it was 8 days later. I assumed it was the next day. I was writing in this diary, and then a giant pteranodon attacked me. It picked me up and threw me to the ground. He pounded me in the ground, and I squealed in pain. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Finally, after a few more blows, my attacker flew off laughing. Then Godzilla appeared. That was Rodan. You probably already know that. And I know what you're thinking, Bug. You will never win me over. I will be your king, and you will be nothing but my slave, said Godzilla, looking down on me. Oh, I looked down. I was so embarrassed, I turned away from him and scurried back to the temple. Godzilla turned back to whatever he was doing before and slipped into the ocean. I know that was Godzilla. He was pretty much like he is in all the stories I read. The fairies kept on telling me that Godzilla liked destruction and he would be the death of me. I don't think that's true. In fact, he seemed pretty mean, and I think it was for real. Why does he hate me? So the diary just ends there because they don't go out. That was really dumb. Number 2. What if Mothra went with Ghidorah from the beginning? Tuesday. I'm out. I'm shaking my new wings and gazing at them. They look amazing. I notice that it's about midday. As I'm walking outside, I am surprised to see Kumanga, Rodan, and Anguirus waving on the lawn in front of my temple. I'm excited. Suddenly, a thunderous footstep shakes the ground. I look around and I see a handsome golden dragon with 3 heads. He stepped majestically forwards and he towers above me. He's good looking. OMG, he's so cute. This must be that Ghidorah I was reading about. Just now I remember what the fairies told me before I began casting my web. They said a bunch of boring stuff about growing pains, learning to fly, and a lot of other stuff. But they also mentioned that after I metamorphosed, I would be able to have a partner if I desired. Of course, I'd have to learn how to fly and how to get used to my new form first, but that stood out to me. Whatever. Unrelated. It's not unrelated. Back to Big Hot. I mean, interesting dragon monster. His first 2 heads are leaning in, and his middle head, which is incredibly handsome, by the way, is arched backward. Hi, he said weirdly, as his first head said it first, then his second, and then his third. Kind of cool. I try not to be set back by strange speech impediment and try to focus on becoming his friend. I'm now much larger peripheral vision. I see Godzilla and Rodan whispering to each other while speaking to this dragon. I notice that he has 2 tails. I say to him, "Nice to meet you. Your name?" And he, or they, respond with, "Ghidorah, you must be Mothra, hmm? Heard lots of you from Godzilla." That's creepy. Godzilla talks about me and to his friends. I then decide I'm going to test out my new wings. Nice to meet you. I flap up as hard as I currently can, and I fly maybe 35 feet off the sandy shore, then fall, my new eagle-like legs hitting the ground. To a kaiju, 35 feet would be about that much. That's nothing. All these Godzilla fan fictions I read, for the most part, they keep their monsters giant, but then they forget their scale. And they're like, oh, my monster is giant, but they threw something 20 feet, but that would be like that to the monster. Well, that was a letdown, much like this book. Ha! Oof, dab. I'm stumbling my way around, and while I'm doing that, I see that Ghidorah's heads are matching my movement. He's watching me. He walks over to me and lifts me up with his strong wings, and I start hovering above the sand. It was nice to see you change. You are Proteor now. I want you. My name is Jeff. I say bashfully, I'm pretty weirded out. A handsome guy is saying he wants me. Yes, I do. Come with me, MOTHRA. Where, I wonder? Follow my queen. He walks off and I follow. He leads me to a cave and sweeps me up in his wings. His 6 eyes burn into me with passion. I stare back. This cave is ours. Wow, already moving in with him. Just met him seconds ago. Insane. Insane. He wraps his 2 tails around me and draws me close. I shudder, but it's also kind of a nice feeling. I try to pull away anyway. He ignores me and attempts to run his wings down my back. That's assault. That's assault. Again, a nice feeling. This time I don't move away. Jesus. I curl up next to him and I sleep. Editor's note, shudders and backs away from computer. Yerp. Fuck you for writing that. Number 3. What if Mothra died? Well, she'd probably deserve it. Godzilla charges up, then shoots his breath into the sand, slowly directing his breath upwards. I'm going to jump in. I will save them both. I open my wings, and they spread to full length. I think this is when Godzilla was attacking Anguirus and Gatra in Book 2. I open my wings, and they spread to full length. Then I flap my wings and launch myself into the ba. Hi, this is Godzilla. The fairies very kindly gave me access to Mothra's diary. I just wanted to make a little entry if anyone sees this because Mothra is dead. I killed her. I didn't mean to. She tried to save me. That was always like her. Leaping in to help anyone in need, and now she's gone. So dumb. Right now, life feels like a story that's reached its climax, but instead of resolving it, it just stops. Like living in slow motion and everyone is in pity. The thing is, nobody blames each other, only themselves. They should blame you! You murdered her. Manslaughter at the least. So I just wanted to put this in so that if anyone finds it, they can read my feelings too. Your feelings don't matter, you're a murderer. But I have bad news. Ghidorah is the new king. I'm not. They all accepted Ghidorah because Mothra was with him and he is the new king. Well, okay, so that's a dumb reason to accept Ghidorah, but I'm glad, like, Ghidorah doesn't deserve to be king either, but Godzilla doesn't deserve to be king. He murdered someone. He's leading the kaiju on the human islands to the west. Anguirus, Baragon, and Kumanga are with me. That's it. Oh yeah, and little Godzilla. But that's it. We didn't want to fight the humans. So yeah, that's what's going on. It seems like Mothra was the only one keeping us kaiju together. I don't know why. Godzilla, former king of the monsters. And then there's a little note scribbled in. Look at this dumb thing. And all of these words are spelled incorrectly on purpose. Hi, this little Godzilla here. I don't know how to spell very well, yeet. But I'm pretty sad because Mothra's is gone. Bye-bye. Way to kill any emotion you might have built up with that little note. Okay, the alternate endings were pretty stupid. Book 3 should have been longer. It wasn't near as good as Book 2. Book 2 was a fucking train wreck, but it was so crazy at every turn. I enjoyed Book 2. Book 1 and Book 2 were kind of so bad they were good, and then Book 3 and the alternate endings were just kind of bad. They just kind of made me, it just seemed like they got tired of writing the story and kind of just tried to finish it real quick. And that's really what it seems like to me. But yeah, that's it for Mothra's Diary. I guess that saga is complete. There is an Anguirus' Diary that we're going to read, and Anguirus' Diary Part 2. I'll probably do both of those in one video. First Mothra, now Anguirus. The spiky monster writes his own diary about his experiences on Monster Island. I hope they're not from... I hope they're about something different and not about Mothra and Godzilla's issues. Then Anguirus' Diary Part 2 is a romance between him and Megaguirus, apparently. So that's it. Thank you all very much for your support. Check out all the cool links in the description below. You can support us on Patreon, which will help us buy books, because I did buy a couple books for this show, and I haven't finished one of them yet, and I haven't started the other, but we'll get to them, and we will do them. And I do want to make more B3 Reads, because this show is one of my favorite things to make. B3 Reads is one of my favorite things to make, because I read for school all the damn time. Like, I read for college and my funeral studies classes. And just getting to read dumb stuff like this and relax really makes me feel good. So that's it. Thank you all once again. Next time we're probably going to go back to Monster Island and read a couple more chapters of that. But until then, I'll see y'all later.